The dark side of growing an online music business to six figures. So I grew my online music business from 0 to 20K a month in 7 months. And then I more than doubled my business the year after that. And what I was doing was I was teaching recording artists how to produce their own music. So not exactly the easiest niche. I've had some amazing clients that I've even come to say are my friends. I text them personally on my cell phone. But overall, the niche of artists alone is a very difficult niche. And then on top of that, finding artists that want to learn music production as well can be really hard. So in this video, really what I want to do, I really do just want to get real with you and share with you the not so cool stuff, because when it comes to like this YouTube thing and online business overall, a lot of people, I mean, me included, have big flashy headlines, right? Like me, 0 to 20K a month, right? And how I did it. And it's cool. Like, don't get me wrong, but I really do just want to, I don't know. I just want to share real stuff with you and share with you why it's probably actually not as cool as you might think and the reality of it. So real quick backstory though, I've been doing music since since 2011, really seriously. And I was basically just an artist. I could only write lyrics, record vocals. I was doing rap music. And then I decided to start learning music production. I learned it all on YouTube myself. It was really difficult, but it changed my life. And I started to fall into loving the business side along with just really fall in love with the music production side. And so I've sold beats online. I've done remote mixing, mastering. I've run sessions at the house. Didn't love that as much. Pivoted to start doing like social media marketing for real estate agents. Literally, I just wanted to do that so that I could make money for my music business. But obviously, like the passion just wasn't in line. And so I went back to being an artist. I learned how to do marketing really well as an artist. And I started making money as an artist. But then I pivoted to actually doing coaching because I love coaching. I'm good at it. I've been coaching youth basketball for a long time. And also I wanted to make more money. Selling $9 CDs using paid ads is great. But once I started selling, high ticket, it was great. And so, I grew my music business from 0 to 20K a month in 7 months. And so I want to share, though, there was one part of the growth that not a lot of people know. But when I started Rapid Fire Music Academy, that was my music production mentorship. I started it around January 2023. And for the first 6 months of 2023, I was working 3 jobs. I was working at a coffee shop, I was doing basketball training, and I was doing videos for realtors. And so out of the first 180 days of the year, I only took 9 days off total, meaning every single day I did some kind of work. And I'm literally getting a headache thinking about how tired I was some days. God, it was freaking crazy. But yeah, so it was a heck of a journey. And it really, and the other thing was I had spent $15,000 of my own money on coaching before I found the coach that really helped me take off. And, the other really tough part was I was already $25,000 in credit card debt. And I was, I'm married. So that whole 6-month process, like the grind to actually get there was hard. And I just, and again, I was already 13 years flatlined at 0 before I even got to that point. So I guess the first part of the dark side of it is it takes grind and it takes a lot of work. And, a lot of the time, not everyone starts their business with money in their bank account. I sure didn't. Oh my gosh. In fact, no, I was negative. So, if you don't have a lot of money, like if you don't have to have tons of money, right? If you have money and you have credit access and, you can get started with it, that's good. You don't need to like have tens of thousands of dollars saved up in the bank to start your business. You can start your business with not a lot. But the other dark side of it too, I really want to share this part. I haven't shared this on a video yet, but I remember when I did my first 20K month was November of 2023. I did 23K that month, cash collected. And I remember after I did that, I was on the phone with a friend of mine and he was like, hey man, like he was so juiced for me. And like, dude, I was juiced too. But I don't know. He was basically like, kind of like, dude, what, not like in a bad way, but he was like, kind of like, what do you have to say for yourself? But not in a bad way. He was more of like, dude, what do you think? Like, what's your perspective? What would you tell your younger self? I think that was the question he asked, was like, what would you tell your younger self? And I thought about it for a second. And I just said, honestly, man, like I'm kind of disappointed. And that was, looking back at it, that was kind of dumb. Like I should have been a little bit more happy, but I was just like, I was disappointed. And he was like, what? Like, why are you disappointed? And I was like, well, you asked me what I would tell my younger self, and what I would tell my younger self is you can do better. And he was mad at me, like legit. I don't think my friend like had ever been mad for real with me, but he was like, he was mad. He was like, that's so ungrateful. Like I knew he was mad when he was starting to say some like suspect things, but it was all good. You know what I mean? He was like, dude, that's ungrateful. Like you're so ungrateful. Like you just made 20 grand. Like, you know, can you imagine like what people are living like in other parts of the world? Like you just sound ungrateful and you sound terrible. And I just told him, I was like, nah, bro, like honestly, like I did the 20K and like, yeah, it's cool in a month, but it's not as much as I thought. And he's not gotten to that point yet. So I was like, look, you haven't gotten to that point, but trust me, when you do get to that point where you do 20K in a month, it isn't as much as you think. It's not as much as you think. And it made me realize like when I got there, I was just like, damn, like I could have got here sooner. Not only could I have gotten here sooner, but I could have probably even done more. So that was kind of one thing where it's like once you get to a point, and by the way, mind you, for that many years, 13 years of doing music, I wanted to get to 20K a month. And then once I got there, I was like, damn, this isn't as dope as I thought. And so one sort of lesson to take out of that is like, don't just set goals that are end goals, like a number, like I'm going to hit 20K a month, or if I can hit 10K a month, that's all good. Like it's good to have that, to aim for that. But once you get to it, cause you will get there. Like you might, I mean, I don't know you watching necessarily like 100% will get there, but I have faith in you. I think you could get there. And like, once you get there, you don't want to be satisfied with it. You don't want to be like, man, I just want to get to 10K a month so bad, or I just want to get to 20K a month so bad. Bro, trust me. Like if that's all you're aiming for, bro, trust me. Like it's not, you don't want that to be the only thing. Like promise you that. You don't want that to be the only thing that you aim for, because once you hit it, it's like, okay, cool. I'm here. Now what? Is the story over? There's a lot of other, so that's kind of one thing, but there's a lot of other dark stuff to this. Like, you know, I've had great clients, but I've had some bad clients. Like I've had clients ask me for their money back. I've had clients call their banks and, you know, say that the charge was fraudulent, even though it definitely wasn't. And I've had battles with my payment processor, with Stripe, who I'm really not trying to use anymore. I just signed up with a new payment processor, but like I've had stuff with Stripe where they shut down my account, where they go in favor of the client, even though I'm completely the one. In fact, I actually had this one story, which I will definitely not divulge fully, but I had one client who asked for all of their money back, and it was just a really bad situation. Like it got really bad. Like they were threatening to sue me, and it was kind of like a scary situation. So that was extremely tough. I've also really worked on and gotten a lot better with my mindset in terms of self-sabotage, because at the end of the day, if what's going to happen is you are only going to grow to the level of your mindset. You're only going to go to the level of your mindset. So as much as you want to make 10K, 20K, 30K more per month, you won't get there unless you're mentally capable to get there and sustain it and keep it. Because you can get there, but are you going to stay there? Are you going to keep that? Right? Are you going to get to 20K a month and be like, oh, wow, I'm not worthy? Because that's real, bro. A lot of people, myself included, get to a point where they've never gotten to, and they suddenly start feeling unworthy of it. Because what's going to happen to you is likely, like this is what happened to me. Literally, I got to a point where for multiple months, right, I just started making way more money than anyone who I knew in physical proximity. I personally have a lot of friends that are entrepreneurs that make way more money, like way more money than me, that are friends of mine that make 10 times the amount of money I make. And so it's not like that with them. But with my physical people around me, I'm making the most amount of money out of everyone I know. And that starts to get weird. I started feeling like, damn, I feel bad. Like I literally feel bad in a way. Like not even like I'm better than you type shit, but it's like the problems that other people start talking about, I'm just like, bro, I don't even have those anymore. And then I start talking about problems and then they're like, dude, those are problems I wish I had. And so I started feeling like unworthy, and that was starting to self-sabotage me. Another thing that was really weird was the more I started making, like the more money I started making, the less time I had to spend. Sorry, flip that. The less time I was working, the more money I was making. Like I got to a point where I was so dialed in and I had a couple of team members helping me that like, bro, I had so much white space on my calendar that I got bored. Like I literally started getting bored and I like stopped trying to grow my business. In fact, I looked for ways to break my business, to sabotage it because I was bored. I wasn't doing this knowingly. I was doing this subconsciously. That's a very real thing. Your reality and the actions you take will dictate your reality. And the actions you take are based on your thoughts. And your thoughts are based on your feelings. And truly your feelings are based on your subconscious. So if you don't have that stuff dialed in and you don't understand how to control your mind, everything else is going to fall apart. So you can't be successful if you don't have your mindset dialed. I have an example of a client right now that I'm working with. Just to protect his privacy, I won't mention his name, but he's killing it. He's crushing it. Like I've helped him make over 15K with his online business. His mindset, and again, I don't know his mindset fully, like I'm not in his brain, but I got to tell you, his mindset seems really good. Like every time I talk to him, you ever met people where something's always going wrong? You ever met somebody where literally every time you check in with them, whether it's every few weeks or months or whatever it is, it's like, dude, they always have hella stuff going on, like bad stuff. It's always like, man, like this happened, then that happened, then this happened, then that happened. And it's like, man, every time I check in with you, it seems like some bad shit's going on. Like a lot of stuff's falling. It seems like the world is falling apart for you all the time. So my client who I'm talking about is the opposite. Every time I talk to him, bro, it's like so many good things are happening, bro. He's always like, bro, I'm good. How are you? Like, happy Friday. Man, like I got this going on and that going on and I'm doing this. Like, he's just like so hyped all the time. And I'm like, God, you're amazing, bro. And he uplifts my energy. And it's no wonder that he's just got so much momentum with his online business. No surprise at all. And so learning from my client, like be the type of person who always has something going right in their life. You got to be the type of person where every day is a gift. I'm watching, this is kind of the last like little bit I want to leave you with because I think this will really help you. I'm watching The Sopranos right now, the show. I've watched The Sopranos before, but I'm rewatching it again. Such a great show. But in the show, Tony gets shot. Tony is Sopranos, the main character, played by James Gandolfini. And he gets shot by his uncle because his uncle's kind of going crazy and starting to get dementia. And so he's in his uncle's house taking care of him, and his uncle shoots him in the stomach. Anyway, he goes into a coma and doesn't know if he's going to live. And his life's kind of hanging by a thread. And he ends up making it out and living. And his whole outlook on life changes. Like the whole show, Tony goes through it, just being a mean person. He's the boss of the family, so he's got to be a tough guy and not a good husband and not really a great dad and all these just different things. And he gets shot and his whole outlook on life changes. He goes, man, every day is a blessing. Like every day is a gift. And he starts being different. And I really realized that every day I wake up is a gift, every single day. And in fact, I'll kind of retell this story quickly, but there's a video on my YouTube channel called 23K in 3 weeks, WTF. The first time I ever did 20K in a month was actually in a 3-week period, November 2023. The whole first week of November, I was in the hospital and I had a infection in my blood, and I was at like certain levels in my blood were at critical condition. I was fine. Like I was up, moving, talking, like I felt okay, but it was like a really bad situation. I had to be hospitalized for 5 nights. I missed an entire week. The next 3 weeks, I did 23K cash collected in those 3 weeks. And my mindset was like, I'm just happy to be home. I'm just happy to be home. I'm happy to be in my own bed, drinking my own water, wearing my slippers, wearing my clothes, taking a shower in my shower. My mindset in those 3 weeks was like, I don't care if these people buy from me. I'm just going to change their life. I'm just happy to be here. Every single day I wake up with that reminder. Every day I wake up thinking like Tony Soprano, I made it out of a coma. Every day I wake up and I realize like every single day is a gift and a blessing, no matter what happens to you. And you have to have that sort of mindset. Like you got to have that mindset. You got to have that attitude. You have to realize and really be thankful that every day is happening to you. And so there are dark times that you're going to go through and there are going to be tough times you go through. But at the end of the day, like I said, every single day is a gift. Every single day is a blessing. You have to remind yourself that so that you can get through those tough times. So I hope this video helped. This was a bit of a rant and just a bit of me sharing. And so I really hope this video helped you. And yeah, really excited to serve and support you in any way I can. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace.